Comedian and television personality Howie Mandel is opening up about being diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder. OCD is characterized by uncontrollable, reoccurring thoughts or behaviors that you feel the urge to repeat over and over. And after 40 years of being misdiagnosed, Mandel now says he's on a mission to share his story to help others with OCD, and I'm happy to say Howie Mandel is here with me now to share more on that mission and his story. Howie, thank you so much for coming on. We were talking a little bit in the break here, but talk to me about how this all started and how it progressed until you finally got this diagnosis.
No, well, how it started, I was born. And I've always, obviously, well, I didn't know that, but I've always had this issue of OCD. People think they have OCD because you were saying in the break, you know, people say I'm a perfectionist and I like this and I'm neat and I like to wash my hands a lot too, so I have OCD. And anybody that suffers from OCD, it's much more than that. It's a battle. It's like a skipping record. You know, if I thought that I had to wash my hands and get something off my hands, I could spend hours and hours and hours scalding my hands at the sink and miss every part of my life that I needed. And eventually at 40, it's not being misdiagnosed. I just wasn't diagnosed. I don't think people talk about their mental health. My wife, it was an ultimatum, said she was going to leave me if I didn't go get help, because I was trying to, I didn't want to be in a room with somebody that was touching something, and it was really hard for everybody around me. And then finally got diagnosed and was, didn't want to tell people I was diagnosed because there's a stigma surrounding mental health. And I accidentally blurted it out on Howard Stern one time, and I was devastated that I accidentally said it. And then somebody came up to me in the street and said, me too, you know, I have it too. And there was such a relief knowing that I wasn't alone in this struggle. And then the bigger thing now for me, and the reason I'm doing these interviews, is I think that people struggle with mental health. They don't talk about it. There is a stigma involved, and they don't know where to turn. And I think, number one, you need to talk about it. And number two, I partnered with this company called OCD, where wherever you are, this is an app. So you don't even, there's an app, everybody can go, it's affordable, it's covered by insurance. Like, I didn't know where to go. Most people who have OCD or might have OCD, and I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't know somebody who's affected by this in some way, whether it's themselves, you know, somebody at work, a friend. They don't know where to turn. Right. It's not just a regular, you don't just go to a therapist, you go to somebody who is an expert in this, and most people who go to a therapist or a psychiatrist are misdiagnosed. So this is a place and an app where people can go get specific professional help, and it's available to anyone.
And I know you're a spokesperson for that company now, just goes to show how much you believe in it. But when you look back on certain red flags, maybe signs earlier in life, or even signs that your wife noticed when she was saying, you know, there's something's going on here.
For me, it wasn't, there's no little hidden signs. For me, it was like my life was in turmoil. My life was, right now I'm medicated and I'm in therapy and everything, but I would be sitting here constantly just making note of everything you're touching and where your hands go, and I wouldn't want to touch anything you touched, and I wouldn't, you know, you touched that paper, you handed me that paper, that would be really, really hard for me to deal with. So, and that's my entire life. That's from day one. You know, and as somebody who's, you know, I'm 67 years old, in my era, there is a stigma really attached to mental health. So we didn't just talk about it, it was just the quirkiness of who I was. My brother, my younger brother, when we used to fight, he could win anything and get anything from me if he would just hold the laundry hamper lid near me. And they knew that, and they knew that I was quirky and I didn't like germs and I wouldn't tie my shoes because my shoelaces touched the ground. That was just part of who Howie was. So it just, and how he is. But I didn't go seek help for it, because that would be admitting something or chasing something that seemed really, even the word mental seems like something you don't want to talk about. And, you know, the previous story was, you know, it's still like newsy. It shouldn't be newsy. We should be taking care of our mental health the way we take care of our dental health. You're talking about Tom Holland admitting his mental health issues and his addiction. We need to just take care of ourselves.
Well, we often talk about mental health and physical health as if they're different things, but they're so often connected. So what do you hope people take away from you sharing your story?
Number one, that there is a place, No CD, there's an app where you can get help, you can talk about it. Maybe if you see somebody else talking about it, you can go, you know what, I'm struggling a little bit too. It's not, you know, you could sit in a corporate office in America and go, I have a bad back. Oh, I can't lift it. And a million people will hand you their chiropractor card. But if you go, I just can't function today and I don't want to touch anything and I can't leave the room and I'm melting down, people will just look at you and you become, you know, a pariah. And I want that to go away. I want to be able to talk about my mental health the way I talk about my dental health. You know, I just had a cavity.
Had a cavity,
yeah,
kind of a thing.
Right.
Well,
so now I'm medicated for OCD, and I have a place, and everybody has a place to go. No CD.
That's awesome. Well, we so appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I know you've already helped so many people, and I know you'll consider to help
superhero.
So many more. So thank you.
I'm a superhero. You're welcome, people. You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
Forget Spider-Man. We've got Howie Mandel. Howie, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.